you don't want them to do?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, most of the time,
え
trying to identify what they're about to do.
はい、戻ってまいりました。しか引き続き、抱負が担当させていただきます。次のゲームは、ソーラーアッシュ、カテゴリーがトゥルーエンディング、リストリクテッドです。さて、今回、解説がいらっしゃいません。
In a player's skill, they can react to whatever they're getting and be able to know the best way to handle that. One more here from Kiyobushi.
僕はこのゲームについて何も知らないので、
advantage of in the speedrun. A little bit of a routing question here.
Yeah, so I mean, there.
コメント欄の方の助力をお願いしたいです。
It's just the most consistent that I can use, but there are probably better options. But as far as armor,
今結構スケジュール押してるでしょ。押してるんで、このゲーム、僕の担当時間じゃなかったはずなんですよ。担当時間じゃなかったはずだったんで、何も調べてきてないんですね。前の僕、ザ・パスレスを担当した時は、あの時はそのパスレス担当するって分かってたんで、よく分からないなりにタイトルカツレツに似てるなっつって、カツレツについて調べる程度には、事前に準備してたんですよ。今回については本当に何も知らないんで、まあ、ちょっとプレイ動画見るだけはしたんですけど、なんですかね、なんかスタイリッシュ 3D アクションって感じです。
entity that it can take anyone and give them something that they're interested in, you know, and I mean that mostly comes from like people like you and people like Keys. Like I've been watching you guys for years, so it's wild. It's wild to be right here.
これ奏者の方なんですけど、ちょっとスピードラン .com だけちょっと見たんですけど、今回走られるブリオナートなんか読みがよくわからない人なんですけど、
and I actually have the opportunity to showcase that patch and that mode of the game here.
これ今回のトゥルーエンディングリストレクテッド
after GDQ, that's what I'm going to be doing. It's just playing an unhealthy mode of Monster Hunter.
奏者さん登録されてる奏者さんが25人いる中で2位です。1時間切りしてる数少ない4人の中の1人です。まあ、スピードラン .com に載ってるそのガイドとかを制作してるのもこの方なんで、なんかソーラーアッシュスピードラン界のなんか大御所っていう言い方が正しいのかわからないけど、まあそういう立ち位置の方なんでしょう。ESA 冬でやってたか。その時見てないな。イエーイ、知らん。あ、なんや、思ったより早く来たな。
I'm bryonato, and I am very excited to be back here at SGDQ. It's been a really long time since I ran a run at GDQ. In fact, it was the last time we were in person, which was SGDQ2020. So I'm super excited to be here. Let's keep this intro short. I'm going to introduce my couch immediately if y'all want to go ahead and take it away.
My name is Drew. I go by Drew Bagel. I am also another runner for Solar Ash.
ESA 冬で前回やった時は Any% Unrestricted っていう極限までゆるゆるなルールでやってたみたいなんで、今回はそのトゥルーエンディングの Restricted ということで、まあ、このカテゴリーが一番奏者さん多いんですけど、まあ前見た時とはちょっと違う動きが見られるのかなって思います。
I'll let you know when time is ready. It's going to be just a sec while we get introed here. We are not playing on the easiest difficulty, and I'll get to that in a bit. And I'll just give a little bit of preface on what's going to be going on in the game. So, Solar Ash is a 3D platformer that combines a lot of elements. I like to give the elevator pitch of like Celeste, Shadow of the Colossus, and Jet Set Radio Future. It's got a lot of really interesting platforming elements. It's got some really cool movement, and we'll get to see all of that all at once. The category we are running is True Ending Restricted. So true ending, basically, there are two endings to the game, a good one and a bad one. We're running the good one. It's going to give us an additional mission and boss fight. And as well, the restricted moniker is very specifically not no major glitches. So it's essentially just more of like a rule set that cuts out some of the glitches that kind of like take away from a lot of the gameplay elements of the game and cut out like very significant portions of content. So that is kind of the gist of what's going on. And as we got a little intro there. The general preface,
なんかそろそろタイマー始まりそうですね。
she is a void runner, and her people's planet is being pulled into
なん
a
か
giant black hole known
あれですね。
as ultra void. And so we are,
なんか
we have special technology, and we're going in to try and figure.
焼き鳥刺してる串みたいな剣ですね。
This game was made by Heart Machine, who you might know for being the developers of Hyper Light Drifter. And so this was their latest game that came out in December of 2021. And nobody, this game is very underplayed. So y'all are.
あー、もうなんか刺されてもうてるやん。どないしたんあんた。
What they're in for. It's obviously got a very unique aesthetic style, and we are about ready to go. Heck, I will keep you in for time. It'll be as soon as we gain control, which is in about, I would say, like 10 seconds here. So I'm just gonna wait as Ray stands up. All right. 3, 2,
2、1。グッドラックでーす。
all right. So here we
お
go.
ー、おー、おー。早い。
Movement kit right from the beginning. The movement in this game is very much based around our dash mechanic and
Oh.
the jumps that we use after.
Oh.
And I'll kind of get
なんか悪事な気がするな、こ
It
れ
can。be a little bit weird there, but we got it.
絶対ここ通らせるつもりないやろ。
So this is a huge skip that we're doing right at the very start. This game gets going blistering.
いや、でももしかしたらそんなことないのかもしれない。
Camera to control my gravity, and again, I'll touch on that a bit more.
なんか
But
こ
the main thing to keep
う、
in
もともとすごいむちゃくちゃ動けるように作られてるゲームみたいなんで、なんか、
mind, we have
どこまでが本来許されてる動きなんかわからないところがありますね。
skating and dashing and skating, and that's going to be kind of like a movement loop that we do over and over. Now, what we need to do is we need to clear out basically some anomalies that are in the area so that we can establish contact with our AI that's local here that's going to basically tell us what to do and tell us where to go. So the kind of general gameplay loop is there are going to be multiple of these anomalies that we have to go to point and then clear them and move to the next one. And that'll be kind of the thing that we're doing in every single level. Now, because we skipped that intro cutscene immediately, it actually bugs out the boss that is present in this level. So I'm going to do a little bit of menuing here. I am now going to move the difficulty back to novice. And then I am going to quit to menu, and that will fix the boss, because if I do this whole level without doing that, it's actually going to soft lock the game. So I'm listening for an audio cue. There we go. Okay, and now I'm going to start moving backwards in the black screen. And these little blue things here, these are clouds. We're always going to be moving faster on clouds, and our dash comes off cooldown faster on clouds. So generally speaking, anytime that we are able to be moving on clouds, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, this is a nice little shortcut to get up top here. There's normally a different intended path you have to take, but if I get to this archway, which we will be revisiting many times throughout this run, I can do a little bit of weird camera manipulation, get up on the rock side here, and this gets us up here, saving about like a
う
second.
ん、なんか、
This is kind of this whole mission.
わからないですね。どっから先が悪いことなのかわからないって
We
い
have a
う。
grapple in this game. We're not going to be doing any sort of grapple slingshots or anything like that. You might be familiar with my other speed game, Titanfall. But it is going to be more like a point-to-point grapple, and it's always indicated by that kind of three-pronged circle that will indicate it. We also have a bullet time mechanic that we will use to slow down time, and that will allow us to extend our grapple range. I'm going to do a slope boost here, which allows me to convert all of my vertical momentum into horizontal momentum to go a little fast right there. And this is our final anomaly that we have to get to right here. And this little goop that you see
前回 ESA でやった時はアンディストリクテッドで、今回はディストリクテッドなんで、
and jump.
まあ、許される動きは前回よりか制限される
So it's
感じ
very
です。
intuitive speed tech. So basically, after we clear out all the anomalies in every single area, we're going to be fighting
クレーターウロボロス、
or, a boss. This
マッシブアノマリー。
This is very much the tutorial boss. He's just a big, long, Ouroboros. And yeah, this will kind of introduce what we can expect from most
そうですね。トゥルーエンディングなんでね、
how the phases work. So
やることは多いと思い
spawn
ま
points
す
that。we get for when we can actually get on the back of the tail here. But fortunately, it looks like
Oh.
RNG here. So you see, there's a bunch of there's kind of a bony surface on the back, and there's also like this black goop. So we want to always be.
これはね、注射針を今度は砕いて回ってるのか。
Is gonna halt all of our momentum and cause us to move really, really slow. So we just want to avoid that generally. There's 3 phases to every boss, and after every single phase, the size of the platforms we can run on gets smaller. And on the third phase,
骨粗鬆症
on the third phase, the goop turns like super hot, and if we touch it, we will die instantly. So we're just gonna go ahead and cruise through this last bit here. And this is pretty self-explanatory. This is pretty self-explanatory. So I'm gonna actually start talking about the next bit of the most important bit, I would say, of tech in this game, which is the triple jump. Basically, we have a triple jump. We're not supposed to have a triple.
この中でだともう一回かな
There's a large amount of coyote time in this game, and coyote time in video games generally means like a grace period that you have when you leave a ledge where you can still input a jump. And there's like a weird interaction with that. I have to be careful because these platforms are a little tricky. There's a weird interaction with that with the actual dash in this game. So if you press dash and jump at the same time, and then you
これ、ドロドロしてるところは通れないってことになるんですかね
you actually get, and here's the boss being done. You actually get your first twice, which is really interesting. You can jump a third time after that. So you'll hear me on the space bar. I'll be kind of doing a rhythm like. I'm sure you can probably hear that over the mic. I'm known for slapping my space bar. So anytime you hear that, that's me inputting a triple jump. Again, we get our first jump twice, and we can do the third one after. So, yeah, and we have variable jump heights that we can reach in this game too, depending on how soon we kind of like piano the dash input into the jump input, as well as how long I hold the jump input. I can get either a full hop or a short hop, and a couple of ranges in between. So yeah, now we move into, we're going to talk to Sid for the first time. CYD, this is going to be, I believe it's Central Yottabyte Database. Thank you very much. And so Sid basically represents is kind of like this big, not big, it's an AI that kind of contains, like, from what I understand, the entire collective knowledge of Ray's people, and they're going to be kind of our guide and tell us what to do and point us in the next direction, depending on what mission we're on. I'm going to go ahead and skip some dialogue here. And this is a forced buy that we have to do to buy a shield cell, which is our health, which you'll see in the top left corner there. Generally speaking, we're always going to be on 1 HP, aside from the points where we absolutely need help for like a skip or something like that. So just keep that in mind. We have about 2 hits we can take right now if you look up there. Now, we're heading into the next mission. Broken Capital, and as you can see, we're going to this archway again. This is a very important archway, and this is where I get to talk about the camera manipulation in this game. So the really interesting quirk about this game.
これは元から普通にやっててできることなんかな
So if I jump off here and kind of crank my camera, fly at a specific direction, which I can then.
でもなんかむちゃくちゃしてるように見えるな
This is perfect. All the way across here, all the way up to the top of the Capitol climb. That's huge. I'm really glad I hit that way. Super good. Thank you. And you'll see that camera manipulation actually all the time. Like anytime, you're going to see it a ton of this upcoming level 2. Anytime I need to get that, I need to get more distance out of a long jump, I'm going to be kind of moving my camera around or looking at my destination. So I would say a lot of the skill ceiling in this game comes from a mastery of that camera manipulation. So if you were paying attention, you saw I might have hit a checkpoint up there. It's that little circle on the ground that has a little beam there. You can see it's right over there. I hit that, and it's going to save my progress. So I'm going to get I got the eye goop down there is what we call them. And now we're going to go back up top. So I'm going to listen for an audio cue. And I should be able to move in the black screen to triple jump up here. And this triple jump actually allows me to access a slightly unintended location. And I can just skip talking to that NPC. And then, remember, it's called restricted, no major glitches. We can use that out of bounds to get through. Wow, that's a mantle. We can use that to skip another intro cutscene for the boss here. Now, we have the ability to grind rails in this game. And coming up here, I'm going to be doing a speed tech called a rail slip. It has to do with the way that the rail, like the rail grind mechanic works, and we're going to be doing some manipulation with.
なんか電車ですか
I will be sure to explain it after.
なんかの列車ですかね
Oh, a little low.
お
Don't soft lock, please. Okay, we're good. So I got all the way over here.
わ
I didn't quite get the one I
あ
wanted.
なんかすっごい刺さり方してるけど
That should take me right over here. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna have to play on the fly a little bit. Can I get to this?
うん
Or this goop here, I should say. Okay, I think I have saved it. Very nice. Okay, good. We saved it. So that could be a little bit scary. Oh, I appreciate y'all clapping for my mistake. That means a lot to me. Thank you. You're a very nice crowd. Ideally, I would have just gone all the way up to the top here, but fortunately, I was able to save it without soft locking, which is a possibility there. So a rail slip is interesting because when you touch a rail for the first time, you get a speed boost, but that speed boost isn't capped. So if you press the grind button multiple times over, you can kind of stack that speed boost. And you can kind of imagine what happens when you do it with a bullet time mechanic as well. And we'll see another version here. This is going to combine both a triple jump and a rail slip. This might make it. And I have to do some gravity manipulation. There we go. I love this one. This one's so sick.
This one's always so satisfying to watch.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, I was a little nervous about that. The rail slip triple jump is a combination of both tech, and the timing for the triple jump is really hard because you're slowing down time, and that means the timing for your triple jump is also altered as well, so you have to kind of compensate for that. And now we're going to do another rail jump, or another rail slip all the way around the corner here. So this level is just awesome. I love Broken Capital. Do some camera manipulation to get up here, hit the grapple point. Now this part's a little bit hard. I'm gonna try and get all the way up top without, okay. Almost got it. That's still pretty good though. I got all the way up to the very top here. Or just at least almost at the top. We call them gravity bubbles that will kind of intersect. And depending on how you move through them, when you're moving at these high speeds through the air, you can kind of get pulled down like you saw I was traveling upward and I got kind of jumped down there. It can really affect how you're able to move through. So that was a good, like a third place medal for that launch. You got a bronze medal there, so it was all right. You can get all the way up to the top. Here we are onto Forgotten Thresher. This is it's got a really pretty spectacle, and it's effectively, I would say this is the first real boss of the game. It's kind of like Ouroboros hard mode. And I think Bagel, you would agree that
だから、まあ、フィールドの各地にある目玉になんか、焼き鳥の串をぶっ刺して、焼き鳥の串をぶっ刺して回ったらボスが出てくるっていう感じですね。
Another trick on the rail here. Call it a party. I'll explain it later. And if I can, I'm gonna get some gravity manipulation to. Oh, just barely missed it. You saw the icon. Whoa! He dropped a bomb on me. What are you doing? You saw the icon appear just for a split second. I just barely missed that. So now that's actually a little scary because the way that this boss kind of maneuvers through the city is not like a set pattern.
目玉の串焼きとかなんか世界観が世界観ならなんか出てきそうな感じしますけどね。
Really confusing, or not confusing, but really tricky, I should say. And just as a reminder, with the grapple mechanic here, you'll see me entering the time slowdown before any grapple. That does extend our grapple range, just in case you missed that earlier, or I forgot to say it. I'm not really sure. So now we're moving on to the second phase, and I would say if we have time for like, I would say we have time for like two to get started here while we wait for the third.
じゃあもう落ちずにそのまま飛び移れるんですね。
You can start off with a $1,000 donation.
Wow. All right.
From the Strange Pie that says, best of luck on the run, bryonato.
Hell yeah, I love the Strange Pie. Thank you, Pie. Appreciate you.
And then we also have a $25 from Emerald that says, $5 train, X5 for sound vortex, which indeed is our bonus game, which we are sitting at 32,000 raised of 200,000. So keep those donations coming in, folks.
All right, and so here we are into the final phase. This is the scary part. I'm also on 1 HP, so I gotta be really careful. Again, that's indicated in the top left corner. Now, like I mentioned, Thresher moves through the city and kind of...
Sunshine.
I'm good. Yeah, so that's fine.
これはやられたってことでいいんですかね。
That's probably the best one. So, yeah, I was a little bit off with my triple jump timing there. And again, we're just right back here, so that's a pretty little amount of time lost. So I was saying, the way that the Thresher moves through the city can be a little bit random. And so we want to make sure that, or we're gonna have to be careful on these next few parts of this third phase so that we don't die. Because as you can see, if I touch that, I die immediately. And it looks like we're gonna be okay. Sometimes this
なるほど。さっきここでやられた。
But nope, I'm gonna set up this grapple so I go in the correct direction. Also, I love the music that plays on the third phase for every one of these bosses. It's the same track for every one, and it sounds so good. I'm gonna focus here. These platforms might look a little bigger, but they feel a lot smaller in the moment. There we go, and we're home free now. Here we go. Thresher's done.
Hey.
All right.
Oh,
thank you. And yeah, now we have time for a few more donations. Covert, if you got some.
これまた潰される流れが。
from the community, Bri. It's awesome to see. Starting off with $50 from Nito Burrito.
Hey, Nito.
And they say, I am so excited to be here at SGDQ supporting what
あかんな。何も喋られへんな。
always continues to amaze me with the love and work they dedicate to their craft.
Thank
and
you.
I'm grateful for them and the wonderful community they've made. I love you, Bri.
I love you too. Thank you, Nito. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much. We've got time for one quick one.
Okay, one quick one. Sounds good. Well, we have $25 from Polaire that says, making some Heart Machine history. I'd bless this run with your Dragon Channel points if I could. Best of luck, Bryonato.
Thank you so much, Polaire. Appreciate you. All right, so basically, anytime that we talk to Sid in a different area, they will give us the ability to fast travel. So that's going to be super important to some of our routing. It's also going to allow us to fast travel back to Crater so we can start the next area, which is Iron Root Basin. So I'm going to bring up the map menu and then fast travel here. I will hold a direction, which allows me to move as soon as we go out. And the intro to Iron Root Basin is going to be kind of similar, actually, to how we entered Broken Capital. So we're going to be using some camera manipulation to be able to run up the side of this cliff face if we can get up high enough. So this can be a little tricky getting up here. We have to get to this kind of ledge here. I use this as a visual cue right here, this little flick in the texture, I guess you can say. Get on the tree, and then we're going to do triple jump. And then we have to go up the side of this cliff. And as you can see, it's a little weird. I'm going to dash over, and the tree doesn't have any collision on the top, so I can just kind of flip. And if I
悪いことな気がするぞ。
slow boost, not really. That's fine. And it's a pretty short hop, skip, and a jump over to the first area. And I got to collect this here. Here we go. Cool. And I'll come back into play later, which I'll explain. I really enjoy how this level is routed, because the way that we're going to do it is, I believe, kind of like the reverse of how you're actually supposed to go through here. So this big building that we're going to right now is effectively you have to open like 3 keys to get here. But because we have a triple jump, we can do all of this unintended platforming. We're able to get here first, and it actually just works out really nicely, because effectively we're going to climb a short tower after this, and then that was close. And we're going to kind of descend down a big hill to go through the level. So I really enjoy how this level is routed. So, and you might notice that this cutscene's a little bit weird for this boss introduction, and that is because we glitched out the intro cutscene for the boss. Every single area has one of those, and so he never got to have his she never got to have her introduction, and so she's just kind of chilling over there somewhere. And so we're gonna have to quit to many to fix that as well, and that's one of the last ones we have to do. So I'm gonna triple jump from the clouds to preserve my cloud momentum all the way up the staircase. Grapple here, and this is a fun little route. I'm gonna do a triple jump onto the bridge here, dash up, and then this is a little awkward, so I'm gonna try and get a goop dash here, mantle. Try and slow down my momentum so I can get around this kind of hairpin corner easier. There we go, cool. I like that route a lot. Feels very good, feels very clean. And so after this one, I'm going to be doing another slope boost. I mentioned this briefly at the very beginning of the run, but basically anytime we're falling and we hit a slanted surface, we can convert our vertical momentum into our horizontal. And the slopes don't have to be that steep. So as you can see, this one's pretty mild. And I'm just going to dash off here. And because I have such low ground friction thanks to my skates, I can preserve basically all this momentum with very little effort. It's very cool. So I'm going to take that momentum, come over here, triple jump around this corner, skip the mantle maybe. Nice. And I have to be careful of this guy's hitbox because he can be quite tricky. There we go. All right. And so, again, this is kind of the gameplay loop where we're going to each, there's about like, I think in every single area, there's about 4 to 6 of these like eye goops as we call them. And so we got one more after this. You can kind of see how we're just going down this gradual hill. As I turn the corner, around, right. So we're gonna jump off this pillar, double jump over here, and this is another one of those trees that doesn't have collision. So if I kind of hit it at the right angle, I got the really good one. Oh, here we go. Good. There we go. Oh, there. We got it. Also, I want to mention it's super cool that we have Covert hosting for us because Covert also runs this game. And so when I saw that Covert was a host, I was like, dude, you got a host for me for this one. So it's awesome that you're here, Covert. I appreciate having you, dude.
My pleasure, man. I'm so happy to be here.
All right, and so as you can see, this is very bugged out, and I love this. We're just going to look at Ray kind of chilling right here. She's hanging out. So we have to quit T-Many to fix this, and if you notice the number in the top screen, that is actually the currency for the game. That's our plasma. And what we need to do is we need to hit 500 plasma because we need to buy another health for a skip coming up in the next mission. And I mentioned at the start that our health is kind of like an interesting resource in this game. I mentioned at the start that we start the game not on the easiest difficulty, and that's because when we start the game not on the easiest difficulty, we start with 1 less health, and after every single boss fight, we lose 1 health, and if there's no more health for us to lose, it just doesn't play that animation. So it stays about 6 seconds. We need to buy 1 back, and again, it's still saving time even despite that. And This boss is Lost Century. If when you ask any Solar Ash runner who their least favorite fight is, this is a free space.
Wow.
Chart for sure. And it's not because the fight isn't fun. I actually
なんか上から見たらなんかカッパみたいです。
for Lost Century. But the
なんか
well, if you're familiar with Super
顔っていうか
Fantoon, this is effectively our game's Fantoon. The Lost Century can attack 3 specific portions of this level, and they can only attack from that point, and you have to wait for their attack to get to access the fight, basically. And so how they move between these phases can either be like, you know, a slow cycle, a mid cycle, or a fast cycle. And we are getting the slow cycle. Let me tell. Oh, are they moving immediately? Okay, we're getting the mid cycle. There we go. So there's be
下にでかいのに足の動きはどこか丁寧さすら感じる。
I'm not going for a PB attempt. I'm just trying to have a good marathon run. So like, even though we don't have like great RNG right now, I'm just kind of chilling. I'm like, if I was at home, I'd be a little.
足の動きなんかでかさの割に繊細じゃないですか。
They're gonna attack over where we were, and I'm gonna wait for the tentacle to drop down so I can grapple it. I always get it wrong on the second phase. And this is more or less kind of first or what second verse same as the first? Is that the figure of speech? Okay. So yeah, Wolfgang, I want your thoughts from you. Your first impression so far on seeing this.
It's, I mean, I see everyone laughing, and it's just so funny. I'm just sitting here wanting to sigh constantly because of the amount of weeks of work that you're skipping over. I'm like, that's nice.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's great to watch. But...
And you were the lead environmental designer, so I'm assuming like most of the stuff that were, I mean, you probably had a big, a lot of the stuff that were like all the terrain we're traversing and stuff. I would imagine.
There was only 2 environment artists in this entire game.
No
so
kidding. I mean, that's super wild to hear, considering that like the environments are like one of the reasons you play this game. Like they're gorgeous.
Oh yeah, they're amazing. The other environment artist, Nate Grove, is like one of my favorite people in the world, and his work's astonishing. And I'm so glad to get a chance to have worked on this with him. And yeah,
awesome. That was really, really cool. I can't believe only 2 people did this. So I would imagine I believe you said you also did a lot of the QA work for this too.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that like, was any of this tech like the triple jumps or anything like that? Like,
あれや。
y'all knew about it
よし。
before the release, or?
There's one which I think you're gonna get into later, which is like partying, which are our dev or our lead designer.
Whoa!
Actually
What the?
Ah.
Calm down. We're having a good chat over here. Why you gotta interrupt us like that? I'm not really sure what happened there, but anyway, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, like our lead designer, he discovered that and he didn't tell anyone for the longest time because he liked it, and so he was like really hoping to make it into the end because we
それと
really
ボス戦ですけど
wanted to have fun.
流れてる音はどこか静かな感じなんですね。
Like speedrun competitions, if I recall, right? Too.
Yeah, I think we actually did like a full stream of like our speedrunning in the dev before we released, and I came second to last, and last was Alex Preston. Sorry, Alex.
のがなんかコブみたいに出てきてましたね。そういうトラップもあるのか。
He is the owner of the entire company.
Yeah.
So.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now we're done with Lost Century.
Hey.
You know, it's kind of okay.
わ
To get us back up there and give us more time to chat, so you love to see it. Covert, we have time for I would say 2 or 3 donations.
All right, excellent. Starting off with $20 from Nico with a C.
Hey, Nico.
Hi, Bri. It's so amazing to see Solar Ash at GDQ. I'm so proud to be part of this community you guys have created. Thank you so much for being awesome and good luck on the run.
Thank you so much, Nico. Oh, sorry.
By the way, bagel skip?
No.
Also, Covert, you're awesome. Lesson 3.
ー。
One more.
Sure, okay. We have $50 from Free Fizzy that says,
Hey.
GLHF, Bryonato, awesome runner, commentator, and couch. Also,
Hell yeah.
please remember to be safe while performing acupuncture.
Wow. That was pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. All right. Now we're moving on to the next biome, I would call it, which is Eternal Garden, and this is going to be a huge tonal shift from basically everything we've been seeing so far. So I mentioned I had to get 500 plasma to buy a shield here, and this is going to be basically the only time that we do this. This is super important because it is going to be the catalyst for a really big and awesome skip that we're going to do later on. Not this one though. This first one, the introduction to the intro to Eternal Garden, is, I would say, another reason why we don't call this category no major glitches. So,
Alright.
first things first, I'm going to do a little rail slip to get up here, and I'm going to be kind of riding the curvature of the rail. rather than, oh, this is not very good. Okay, 1 second while I kind of improv here to get up here. This part can be kind of tricky because all this geo is a little bit awkward. There we go. So, yeah, for rail slips like that, you can either ride the curvature of the rail, or you can kind of get a jump at to jump and launch. So this one is going to be a little bit different, and this one's cool. This one was found by Mechanical Snail. Here we go. So I'm going to try and get a bunch of speed, kind of crank the camera up, get me out of the stratosphere. There we go.
これは悪いことやな予感がする。おー、どこ行くねんお前。
The area I want to land. This is a huge skip. We skip the boss intro cutscene.
なんとか。
We skip the I-gate cutscene. Boom. There we go.
Oh my god.
おー。
We call that mechanical snail fan. That we call that trick the snail trail. All right. So now, unlike the other stages, we're going to talk to Sid immediately, and this is like I alluded to earlier, is going to be a huge part of our routing for this level specifically. Having Sid at the central point allows us to fast travel to them at any given point, and that's going to be huge because this level is pretty spread out. And the environment here is actually sick. It's a huge departure from the kind of like broken cities that we've seen before. We've got these weird mushrooms, these huge rib cages. It's super cool. It's quite the vibe here. And for this part in particular, I'm going to be bee-hopping rather than kind of dashing through here. The dash only sets you at a set speed, so sometimes you kind of have to balance between like when you're going to be berserk momentum with like bunny hops rather than something like dashing and jumping over and over, for example. Simple IQ not to get killed by those sniper guys, and there we go. This biome also introduces this mechanic that I usually refer to as like,
どのゲームでも鳥は可愛くない。
I don't know, little things that we hit and then they kind of
わしわしされてたわしさんは可愛かったじゃないですか。
And we're actually going to be bypassing most of those, but they will come into play in just a bit. You call them Doritos, don't you, Bagel?
Yes, they are Doritos. And you will see them, you'll know exactly what I mean.
Yeah, we got the Cool Ranch Doritos, we got the other Doritos. Yeah, you can see like that's one of the receptacles there. We're not going to do that though.
I'll have you know the blue ones are jelly beans, not Doritos.
I mean, they were like the whole like color difference and the happened at the same time. But something that's interesting about it is that all the shapes were introduced later, where there's the Doritos like the triangles and then like the other shapes was made for accessibility reasons.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense then. Oh, that's fascinating. That's awesome. Okay, so they're not only Cool Ranch Doritos, they're also accessible. You love to hear. So we're gonna fast travel back up to Sid here, and like I mentioned, this is a huge part of the routing, and we'll see some of the first like spore sack right here. So I'm gonna hit this, and then if I bring it to the receptacle right there in the bottom right, that's for us. And so we'll see that a few times. We're almost never doing it the intentional way though. So I'm gonna immediately turn around and get this eye goop up here. Just grapple. I'm gonna slow down my momentum, double jump backwards, grapple there. And we're gonna do now. What's about to happen is one of the coolest things in the entire run. So I want that extra health because I need to take a hit to clip through, which is gonna allow us to access the bottom of this tower early. We call it the basement. And normally to access the bottom of the tower, we have to go through like multiple of those spore sacks. To go through a ton of them. There's no collision here, so I can just kind of jump through. And I'm gonna come over here. And this part's pretty. This part could be a little bit spooky because this guy's position can be a little random. So I'm gonna try and get into position here, and hopefully he will hit me in the right direction. Okay, so this is gonna be improv here.
何をもってそんなことをしたのか。
I'm gonna try and like manipulate him. So I need to get him into the center. This part's really hard, but it saves like upwards of a minute. So if I can get him over here.
何をしたい？
So now we're just kind of waiting. He's gonna walk.
これはなんか押し出したら抜けられるとかそういう話なのかな？
There we go. Okay, second try.
あ、そういうことやったんやろうな。
So now we're through the door. If I double jump at the right time, I can land on this mushroom. There we go. And there, it's kind of interesting. The collision right here, there's none of it. So we can just go straight through the wall, and that allows us to access the basement like super.
まあよくある壁抜けですね。
Really quite fascinating, actually. The skip went through a lot of iterations. I have to do a kind of a tough backup here. Bear with me for a second. There we go. Okay, that's really difficult. And then if I get here, yeah, I got trolled. Okay, what if I can get it again? I got just out of the range. I gotta do this quick. Saved it. Whoa! Okay.
Good job.
It wouldn't be a GDQ run without just a little bit of drama. Right, all right. So that was about as close as it gets. It wouldn't be like too punishing if I had to redo the whole thing, but it's just that platforming is a little finicky because we're not really supposed to be standing right there, so it could be a little tough. All right, so now we're gonna warp back up to the top, and I'm gonna do another slope boost as we go over here, and I'm gonna basically bring another spore receptacle to one that we're going to bring a spore sack to another receptacle, I should say. So as I use the slope boost.
もしこのウルフギャングさん、開発の方なのかなもしかして。なんか、キーヒムとかシーハートは書いてないから、なんか、団体の名前なのかもしれないけど、ウルフギャングって。
And so we found out we had kind of a conundrum where we're like, well, we don't really want people to have to down patch to be able to skip the basement because the basement was a very
ありましたね。無慈悲も開発の方の前で RTA を披露するって。
And so we actually like messaged Heart Machine and we were like, hey, can y'all revert that? And after we can do that. So it's like Heart Machine has gone like out of their way to make sure that speedrunners
このゲームは
community are like satisfied and happy, and it's super cool that we had like basically it's really cool that we don't have to down patch and that they like went out of their way to make sure that we were happy with that. So big shout out to Heart Machine for that. It's super cool.
On that note, bryonato, do you want to do a quick donation?
Give me a quick donation if you have something topical.
Yeah, well, we have $1,000 from Heart Machine.
Wow, dude, that's the timing on that. I love it.
With love from the bryonato fan club. Woo, rock!
That's so awesome. Thank you, Heart Machine, for the donation. But seriously, y'all, they have been so good to us. Like, it's been amazing, and there's even more stuff I can talk about later with that too. But thank you so much, Heart Machine, for the donation and for sending Wolfgang here and all that stuff. It's really, really cool. So this boss, Withered Eye, probably my least favorite boss to fight personally. Every single time you want to get on their back, you have to do this kind of like extended thing around these weird hand finger arm things that are just kind of like creepy looking, and there's this hole right here you have to look out for.
名自体は複数あるけど、愛図じゃなくて愛なんですね。なんか、単数複数ってよくわからんな。
Have y'all ever been complaining about a game and then had the demo and you say I made that?
Yes. Hey.
Anyway, so yeah, the way that the Withered Eye, the way she moves around the planet, can be a little bit. It can be very tricky to kind of stay on her back because each boss kind of has their own gravity bubbles, as we refer to them, and navigating around them, especially when the bosses are moving. And you kind of get a bit of that if you remember when we kind of got flung forward. Did I get that one? Okay, good. It's kind of like that whole sort of thing. And so here we are. We're at the. We're kind of on the third phase here, so if you got a donation covert, or if you got a few donations, oh, here we go. See, I got flung right there. Let's see if I can keep this momentum. There we go. If you got a few donations, go for it.
Oh, yeah, and just a quick update. We are just about $40,000 away from the 1 million mark. Isn't that incredible, audience?
Wow. Yeah, that would be that's sick, dude.
Let's go, Twitch chat. That being said, we have a $5 donation from Queez that says $5.
よし、お疲れ様です。
Gorgeous. Love this run so far.
Me too.
We also have a $5 donation from Demonic Robots.
Hey, Demonic.
Continuing that $5 donation train. They say there's a reason that Bry is so often seen at GDQ, and that is because they are such an amazing commentator and runner. Congrats, Bry. And I know you're going to absolutely slay this run.
Thank you so much. I would say one, maybe two more.
Okay, sure. We have $100 from Huggy that says, beautiful game. I'm glad this is being run at GDQ.
時間的には半分超えたくらいですね。
Especially to you, Wolf Heart.
あかんな。何も喋られへんな。
I love that. That's great. One more quick point covert.
Yeah, sure. We have $5 from the professor that says, train time. Choo choo.
All right, so now we're moving on to the next section here. This is going to be my personal favorite biome in the whole game, Mirror Sea, and it's also one of the most difficult in the whole game as well. It just kind of works out that way, I guess. So we're going to fast travel back to Iron Root, and this is going to be how we access the biome, I should say. So I'm going to grapple as soon as I get over here. Try and get to the clouds quickly, because again, we move faster on clouds than we do on ground, and our dash comes faster too. Convert that momentum all the way up here. Little grapple. And so this skip coming up here is actually really pretty simple. It's one of the earliest skips that we have. Basically, every single biome or new area is gated by this huge gate that has a cutscene attached with it. But if we just kind of triple jump here and then crank our camera upward, we will get stick to gravity on the other side, and that allows us to continue into Mirror Sea. So this area is gorgeous. I really, really love the environmental design here. It's got some really cool skips and a lot of rails. Anytime that I am pressing the rail grind button quickly while on a rail, you'll see Ray kind of flinging her hands up in the air like, woo, so fun. And we call that partying. So
Mirror Sea.
Specific name for that trick.
Ashito Palace.
Here's a really difficult jump here. If I don't make it, I got to back up. Oh, I made it. Nice. Thank you. Now, this is, we're going to go into some even harder stuff coming up here. So this is the biggest skip in the game and also one of the most difficult. This is going to be Aim Skip Deluxe. The amount of stuff that we are about to not do, I'm so sorry, Wolfgang, is a lot. The whole area was about to not happen. So,
なんかあれは
whoopsie, that's not right. Hold on.
爆散車宇宙船かなんかなんですかね。
This looks good. Now I'm going to jump here, look over to the right, angle my camera.
なんかアンモナイト的形をした何でしょう、大砲かなんか。
There we go. There we go. Love that. Do a little party over here. Jump. I'm going to try and hit this. There we go. Up here. Not fall into the pit of doom there. Very nice. And we're going to do a lot of partying. So I'm going to hit this, and I have to do a really fast skate around this corner. I have to activate all of these basically to turn on.
なんかやったらカチカチしてますけど、速くなるんですかね。
Cool. Wow. All right. That actually went.
レール滑ってる間。
All right. All right, that felt really good. Yeah, that big triple jump up to that like ship and the aim skip deluxe, super hard. So again, we're gonna talk to Sid immediately. And I should note, as soon as we get done with that activation thing, we can warp to Sid, even though we haven't talked to them yet, and that allows us to skip the dialogue with Sid. I don't think I explained that yet. So this is Mirror Sea. It is flipping awesome. I love this place, and it introduces this mechanic that we call toxic. You'll see this kind of radioactive symbol present at the bottom. Anytime.
多分これは多分触れたらダメージなんでしょうね。
The toxic is charging up, and when that turns red, we can't touch
念のためカチカチし。
this green water at any point. Otherwise, we will die instantly, no matter what our health level is. So I'm gonna take a little slope boost here, and that checkpoint that we just got at the pavilion is very important because
早くすると早く連打すると速くなるってわけじゃなくて、なんかいい感じに呼ぶと速くなるって感じなんですかね。で、なんか。
we call this red tower is kind of out of the way.
とりあえずもう適当にカチカチしてる。
Jump and then hopefully did I get them both? Nice. Okay, now I can get this momentum to carry it all the way around. And fortunately,
でこれよく見たらこれマウスで動かしてますねこれ。
There we go. Cool. And so now that this is done, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take an intentional death to warp all the way back to the pavilion. It actually looks really cool. Normally in a PB attempt, I would quit to menu because, like most other modern PC,
マウスでアクションゲームってやったことないな。
faster RTA in this instance just to take the death here. So you'll see the toxic charge up, and then we're gonna warp all the way back over there.
おっとこれはアポトーシスか。デスロイド。
A lot actually over the next few levels. All right, so here we are back at the pavilion, and now I'm gonna do the pavilion. So I'm gonna take a little party up the rail. And I think I'm a little bit low for this, so I'm going to take a triple jump off this pillar so I have enough height to get this grapple. There we go. And this one's pretty simple. So, okay, I'm curious, Wolfgang, if there are only 2 people that worked on the environment for this game, did you work on Mirror Sea?
Yeah, all this entire flat area, including this pavilion and everything, I was
Hey.
working on this
Okay,
entire
perfect.
area.
All right, that'll make up for my comments about about Withered Island because this is my favorite area in the whole game.
Perfect. No, I accept.
All right, so now that pavilion is done, I'm gonna do what's called a diagonal rail slip because now I got to get to the far right side of this area. So if I start a rail slip, but then go grind and press diagonal right, I can actually kind of redirect my momentum to bring it all the way down here. And I'm gonna try and b-hop this whole way to preserve most of my momentum as I'm traveling a very long distance. So the faster I can go, the better. And that was pretty good. So now this next.
あなたも奏者さんだったんですね。
Pretty careful because there's a lot of enemies here and
Hey.
pretty extended. Oh my god!
Oh my!
Those are the hardest enemies in the game.
I know, and he literally came perfectly in between each of my attack sequences. All right, we gotta do it again. All right, that was still pretty good. All right, we get to see it again. All right, so now I got to do this again. Fortunately, I don't think that's like too big of a time loss. If it happened at like the top of the waterfall, it'd be a lot more sad, but this is okay. I'm gonna kind of wait right here. Triple jump. There we go, we're out of the toxic. So I think now, now that that enemy has killed me, I'm gonna, you know what? Yeah, get out of here. Now I should be good to go. So that part's always a little scary. That hasn't happened to me in a long time, but you know, of course it would happen here. Like it has to. So this is a really kind of interesting route. We're gonna take a full hop double jump to get all the way over here. And this part looks a little scary, but I just have to triple. Oh, uh-oh. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You're gonna give me a heart attack.
I'm giving myself a heart attack. Yeah. All right.
Hey.
So this one is this iCoop is pretty self-explanatory. Wolfgang, I have a question for you if you don't mind too. As far as like the boss design, or I guess like the level design of something that I've always wondered. Like, did the boss design ever like influence like the area you designed around it, or like did you design an area and then put like a boss to fit within it?
So areas, particularly like this one especially, was the boss was made first, and all the mechanics for it were made, and then the entire area was designed to fit it for the gameplay.
これは
Okay.
正体
So like, so I guess on that note, how did the boss here, Rust Dragon, how did that influence like the design here?
So it's actually like, this is the worst area when it comes to performance because of how flat it is, and we had to make it this flat because that boss is so big and needs to run around and do all the things that she needs to do. You know, she got a big sword, so she got places to go.
You need a big wide open area. Okay.
So that was like the main thing, and it was like such a struggle to be able to figure out how to make such a flat area like that.
Yeah, well, it allowed for some pretty cool speedrun routing, so that worked out, I guess. So now we don't really need to worry about holding that checkpoint back at Pavilion anymore. We did that quick to get back to the Pavilion and then take another, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? Help me. I don't know. Diagonal rail slip. Another diagonal rail slip to get up here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Y'all are like, Brian, we can't read your mind. Yeah. Right, so we're going up to the Cloud Islands now, and these are the final two iGoops in the area. So once we're done with this, we'll be able to warp back to Sid to fight this boss, Rust Dragger. And so after this one, I have a pretty cool, or I'm going to go for a cute little strat here. I like doing a dash jump off this pillar and trying to get a little slow boost on that rock in the bottom middle corner here. So let me see if I can get it. If I like strafe properly, I can get the, hey, there we go.
Nice.
You can go super fast with that, yeah.
Hey.
That saves like maybe a second, but it's really cool, and I like it a lot. So if you played this game casually, you probably got stuck here. This is the only way to access the second Cloud Island, and it's pretty difficult to find, but fortunately we have a pretty direct route there. That's a safety checkpoint that we're going to get, because this triple jump to get up here is very tight. I need my dash and jump inputs to be right next to each other, and I have to do a full hop. Sorry, what was that, Wolfgang?
No, I'm just impressed.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, that's a pretty scary jump.
Hey.
But fortunately, we got it. And we have a neat little strat here for this guy goop that I like quite a lot. I'm going to triple jump up here, and then just do a goop dash over to the side, and then another goop dash over to the side. And normally in this area, it would require, it would have that little mushroom would send a rail up in either direction in like a half pipe. And you can play this game on keyboard or controller. On keyboard specifically, I'm playing on
Last
that one's a little bit difficult.
Drunker.
Because we're skipping the half pipe, we call that Tony Hawk skip. So great strat. All right, so this is Rust Dragger. This
何なんですかね、あの小継剣は。
This is like the main reason I like to compare this game, or at least not compare it, but you know, say it's similar to Shadow of the Colossus, especially with a boss like Rust. So Rust Dragger has kind of a pretty long history within our speedrun community too, not in terms of strats or anything, but because it used to, I talked a lot about the bosses having their own kind of gravity bubbles or gravity planes. And this boss in particular used to have a lot of them that would almost like overlap and launch runners into the stratosphere. I mean like way up there. Like, I mean all the way past like where we were on the Cloud Islands. And
剣から登っていくんですかね。
all of the final third phase, and you would lose at the time. And
剣から登ってる。
it was tough because this is like one of the last missions in the game.
よいしょ。
Close to the end anyway, and to be a huge time loss. But fortunately, this is just another example of hard.
なんで剣を引きずっちゃうのか。
It finally got patched out, and like the boss is super consistent and great now, and I don't know, it's just great. This is like a great game to run because of the support we get. Like whether it's like retroactively patching stuff back in for a speedrun or just making like bosses.
最後の攻撃ポイント、胸元ですね。すごい痛そ
So, all right, here we are for every single phase of this boss, and this is one of my favorite boss phases too. We have to wait for them to attack.
う。お、今度は腕から。
And I
腕じゃない、足から。よいしょ。
This is one of my favorite like input sequences, and it's not even a movement input sequence.
はい。
Yeah.
はい。 はい。
We're kind of moving on to the third phase now.
よいしょ。
I would say covert. This is like a perfect time for some more donations.
All right, sounds good. Well, we'll kick it off with $50.
また腕からか
Hey, Bri, Lem here. It's been a while since I discovered you at SGDQ 2019. Time really flies, huh? Thank you for being you and being so inspiring to me and many others.
よいしょ。
Hope you absolutely smash this run.
すごい。体にレールがついてるんや。
All right, we also have $50 from Fierce Wolf that says, bonus game. Also, let's hit that 1 mil, y'all. Keep kicking butt and let's go fast. And it's amazing because we've closed a few $1,000s in the past few minutes. So it's so nice to see. And you don't need to donate $50. Even just a donation as small as $5 helps us contribute to helping MSF do what they do around the world, saving lives. So let's keep those donations coming in.
Absolutely. You can keep going.
Hey!
All right, sounds good. Well, we have $25 from Sapphire and Pink that says, Hey, Bri, 3 years ago, I watched and fell in love with your Titanfall 2 run, and then joined and fell in love with your community. You are genuinely one of my favorite speedrunners to watch, and I am proud to be one of your mods today.
いつものですね。
Much love, Sap. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. One more.
All right, well, we have $1,000 from the Yeti. Hey all, Yeti here. Did someone order a $1,000 Hyper Light Train? We're so stoked to see this incredible run. Good luck to bryonato and much love to our friends at Heart Machine.
Hey, thank you so much, Yeti. I appreciate that. All right, so we are moving on to the penultimate level of the game. Illuminous, is it Illuminous or Luminous?
Luminous.
Luminous.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, geez. All right. All right. Come on. Luminous Peak is. I really should know the name because it's my favorite level to speedrun. This was my favorite level casually. Luminous Peak is my favorite level to run. It's got some really fascinating routing through here, which I'm excited to show off, and it's also terrifying.
チルエンドって言うてるんで、チルエンド用の条件もどっかしらで満たしてると思うんですけど、何なんですかね。今のところ何か特別なことをしたっていう風には見えないんで。
World location of Luminous Peak. So if I get up on here just like the same way I did before, I'm going to head over. Let me wait for these. So this is really, am I going to fall? No, there we go. The gravity here is super weird.
今からなのかな
Third try? Okay. Well,
おっとっとっとっと。
kind of like wait for the gravity to almost kind of like balance out if I can get up there. So it gets a little tricky if I don't get the perfect stand up top. So this is still saving time though, even with these retries, as you'll see. Can you? Ray, cut me some slack, please.
You might as well just do Bagel Peak at this point.
No, I will not do Bagel Peak. I will not do that.
You have to.
No, I don't. I don't have to do anything. You can't tell me what to do.
Right.
To do the strat that I like.
Are you?
よし。
Okay.
With style.
There we go.
OK。
All right. So now we're falling. Now we're falling. Okay, now this is the crater to
すごい。
peak trick. There we go.
また横に落ちてる。
Over to peak. And that just skipped a significant amount of stuff. We're like already like I would say like a fifth of the way into the level 2. Please give me the grapple. Please give me the grapple. Okay, I'm gonna try again. All right. I guess this is my punishment for not doing Bagel Peak, huh?
Yes.
Please give me the grapple. Please give me the grapple. Please give me the grapple. Oh, I had it. I had it too.
Too fast.
Okay. All right. Here we go again. Okay. Please give me the grapple. 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 There we go. All right. That's not that hard. I promise that is not that hard.
あれは、なんか、プリンに見えますね。色合いが。美味しそうですけど、やっぱ触ったらダメージなんですかね。
Nice little skip there. You're gonna party up the rail, jump off, and then take a long grapple to get here. And I love, whoa, camera, hello. I love the input sequence. Oh my goodness. I love the input sequences on this level. This level moves at a really nice pace. It's really hard. It's really high stakes, and it's like one of the last missions in the run. So I just really like the vibe here. I like that you kind of have the mushrooms from Eternal.
なんかイケメンですね。次のは。
All this lava, and it's very intimidating. That's our boss, Burning Hunter, which we'll be fighting later. And yeah, this is a very cool area. So I'm going to take this yellow receptacle here, and I'm going to party all the way down the rail, build up a lot of speed, immediately jump all the way over here, take a jump off of this, grab the red, kill that guy. Don't get killed by that guy again. That's not going to happen. Hopefully I grab the goop there. There we go. Goop dash over. And this red receptacle, or red spore, is actually going to last quite a long time. So I can come up here, get that checkpoint, which is very important, and then come back and bring it over here, which is where it belongs. And now I'll do a rail slip. And I should get the launch all the way over here. And this one could be a little bit tricky. There's the snipers along the outside, so I got to be pretty careful of those. There we go. Cool. We're good. All right. So we're going to, now that this one is done, I'm going to take another intentional death, which is going to warp me back over to that checkpoint, assuming I don't randomly hit the checkpoint for this eye goop, which can happen sometimes. I'm looking. Okay, we're good. So yeah, I'm going to take an intentional death to warp me back up there, and now we will have what is probably the hardest trick in the whole game coming up. So if I get this within the first few tries, I will definitely be happy. So this, excuse me, this checkpoint influences all of our routing on
ミスかなこれは。
We're going to be basically holding on to this for a super long period of time. So we're going to put this rail down, and I'm going to do a rail slip triple jump over to a very specific area here. Maybe? Nice! First try! There we go. Let's go.
Nice!
And I wish I could say, like, the hard part was done, but we have only just...
アポトー室かなじゃあ。
We have to hold on to it the entire time, not hit another checkpoint, and also not die. So probably not the best strat to be going for in a marathon, but my good friend Blade LMAO and I worked really hard.
プリンって言いましたけど、なんか、皮剥がれた木々も見えてきましたね。
I'm very purposely not taking any checkpoints here to make this route work. So we're going to get all the way up to the very top of this area and then do a huge warp all the way back down, as you'll see, assuming, of course, I don't die. And I do have a backup strat if I die, but we're going to hope that we don't, because this strat's awesome. So here's another another eye goop. We call this one the carousel, merry-go-round, or whatever you want to call it, because we are going to go all the way around in a circle. Oh, hello.
I call it Krispy Kreme because it's like a donut.
That works too. You know, whatever you want to call it, right? Krispy Kreme, carousel, what's the difference? All right, so probably the yeah, this is like probably the scariest part of the whole run coming up here. We're gonna do a super cool strat that was, again, found by Blade LMAO that we incorporated into this route. That is gonna allow us to access the graveyard, which is actually directly up above us in a very unintended way. So I'm gonna take a triple jump over here. And then triple jump again, and do a time slip grapple to there. I got this little sniper guy. Do a difficult. There we go. That's a difficult goop dash to get up there. It requires a lot of weird camera movement. Now here we go.
Yeah.
Now we can take kind of a little funny mantle here. This one's kind of funny, if I can get it. And it is a little weird. Triple jump here. Triple jump here. All right, here we go. This is the big flip. Okay, there we go. Got it. All right, now we're in the graveyard. We're not done yet. Save your claps. Save your claps. I appreciate you so much, but there's so many high-tiered enemies here, and I'm scared. I'm scared for my life right now. There's a lot of bad dudes. This is really difficult. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna try and get this to work. So I need that guy to shoot me. He did. Now if I could just kind of appear up top. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Kill. That guy. We're good. I think we're good. We're good. All right, we did it. We did the hard strat. Okay. Woo. All right. Thank you. Yeah, so if I died or hit a checkpoint or anything like that, I would have lost easily like 2 minutes. So the fact that I was able to pull that off, I'm ecstatic. I'm very happy with that. So now we're going to take the quit to menu, and this is like the best. Now we're going to warp all the way back to that spot that we were at, you know, when it feels like an hour.
All the way back.
So here we are back at the checkpoint. Cool. All right, so here we go. One more rail slip triple jump here. There we go. You can see how I kind of float up in the air with almost no animation. That's how you know you hit that triple. So we're going to carry our momentum all the way over. Hit this checkpoint because we don't care anymore. Boom. Boom.
Hey.
Oh, please don't do that. Thank you. Oh, something I didn't mention, I think, the whole time. Those little needles.
No.
From what I understand, and Utsu, you can correct me on this, they are like a projection of Ray's heads-up display. Thank you. Utsu is like...
バーニングハンター。
I love her. They're like a projection of...
なんか、ここに来て正統派にかっこいいデザインですね。
Here we go, Burning Hunter. This is actually one of my favorite bosses. It's a very fitting boss to have for the penultimate level. All right. So fortunately, I cleared out these enemies here, so I'm going to go ahead and come over and just kind of party all the way up the rail. Well, at least this part. I don't want to do it too much. Whoa, hey, calm down there. And so for this boss, we have to go up these, they're called smokestacks to kind of launch.
なんか、卵を叩いたら寄ってくるから、寄ってきたところを飛び乗るのかな？
Kind of like we're flying through the entire level. It's you kind of it feels high stakes because we're so high up, and this one isn't like too scary. But as Bagel would know, it is possible to fall off these.
Hey.
Easily. I feel like I'm the only one that happens to too.
I was gonna say that it never happened. I'm hella cursing myself right now. It like never happens to me, but maybe like once in a blue moon. But yeah, if you get kind of like a weird pattern with the legs, or the wings rather, you can just end up falling off.
そうですね。なんか、EST 的には、なんか、多分こいつの後にラスボス戦があってエンディングぐらいなのかな？はい。はい。はい。はい。
Much love to bryonato for showing off the fantastic Solar Ash. To amazing people like Wolfgang for helping to make it.
わっしょい。
Games then quick for putting on another tremendous GDQ. Hope I can see you all in person real soon.
そうですね。なんか。
Okay, we have $25 from Lapras Soul that says this game.
オースナドリー、確かになんかオースナドリーみたいな。なんか。
Thanks to bryonato for this amazing run.
So welcome. All right, this is an intentional death I'm going to take to get over here.
アポトー室ですね。なんか、びっくりする様子がなかったんで。
So this final phase isn't too hard, but the final part when you're kind of moving with the tail and everything, it's very scary because you know that you've just done all this really hard stuff on this really hard level and you just want to bring it home. So this phase always gives me a little bit of a scare, and I will be playing it just a little bit safer than I would normally. So I guess Wolfgang, question for you: what was like? I don't know. This area is obviously it plays and behaves much different than any of the other areas. With like the huge death planes everywhere. What was like some of like the biggest challenges with designing this one in particular?
I mean, I think the difficulty I at least had is that we have nothing that's able to help us deck upside down really well. So I spent half of my time having to like turn my monitor the other way to deck the opposite.
最後かな。ドーン。
Designers, the work they did on this was like the amount of iterations that we had. That one level was just insane. They did such a good job, and they're so fast. I love like Luke and Jordan. Like shout out to them.
Big shout out. You had to flip you said you flipped your monitor upside down to work on the.
Yeah, because I couldn't be able to like, flip myself, so I was just like, well, this works.
一応上まで行きましたね。
Alright, so we are
さて何が起こるのか。
We're in the end game now, I guess you might say. So we're going into the final section here, and we've essentially completed all of our goals. We have activated what's called the Star Seed. And Utsu, would you mind kind of catching us up on the lore so far and what's about to happen in this next sequence?
So as we established in the beginning, Ray is here to basically close the Ultra Void, the big black hole that we're in, and the Star Seed is a giant machine that can close black holes. However, if you've been picking up logs and stuff, it would be revealed that like something went wrong with the mission, which is why your team is nowhere to be found. And it's also revealed that while the Star Seed can close black holes, it can also react to the gravity of a black hole to thus like reverse
レールになるんですね、それ。
because of how like gravity actually works in science. And so Ray is basically going to get to the top of here, and she's going to have a choice to make.
Cool. Thank you for that. All right. Yeah, and as you can see, this is like an cutscene when we're going up the Star Seed. Great audio direction here. I would say,
違った。
I'm gonna have to say something, and then we'll be good for more after that.
All right, sounds great. We have $25 from Evolved Icon that says, "Hello, GDQ. bryonato running a heart machine game while Covert Muffin hopes it's a dream come true. Big thank you to everyone involved and everyone watching."
Thank you, Icon. Appreciate you.
We also have $5 from Slide Dante that says, "Donating towards a run of one of my favorite games of last year. Thanks to bryonato for running Solar Ash and keep up the amazing work."
Yeah, on that note, I just want to say this was one of the best games of last year. Easily the best speedrunning game that came out in 2021. Sorry, go ahead.
No, absolutely, 100% agree. We also have $5 from Noah Runs that says, "Always love the rhythm games at GDQ. One ticket for the $5 train." And that being said, it looks like we currently have $35,000 raised out of the $200,000 required to unlock Sound Voltex Exceed gear. So if you would like to extend the marathon, keep those donations coming.
No, no, no.
So, as you can see, our plan is kind of backfiring. That kind of deity that we've been talking to, this is kind of our final confrontation with her, Echo. And so basically we're going to have to go through some dialogue here, and then we're effectively going to be making a choice that it's going to give us two choices. We either listen to Echo and destroy the Starseed, or ignore her.
毎回潰してくるやつや。
So this is a scripted sequence. It's not quite the choice yet. I'm going to go ahead and destroy
おーっ
the
と。
true good ending. So you'll.
おー。
Also, another small note too for this cutscene that's about to happen after this. It's a little disturbing. It's not like super like gory or anything like that, but it impacts you in the way that it was intended to. So just as a heads up, big shout out to Creeper Hunter, who came into my chat for when he was seeing this game for the first time, and he was like, "Oh, this seems like a really comfy cutscene." So shout out to that. Anyway, Covert, take it away.
デストロイっつってるけど。
All right, sounds great. Well, we still have a lot of love coming in, Bri, for this run. We have $50 from Gyroblade that says, bryonato killing it on the commentary. And shout out to Heart Machine Team for supporting the speedrunning scene. We also have $25 from Dragon Jinx that says, all these runs today have been awesome. Let's hit that 1 million today. Hype?
Hype.
Hype.
はい。
We also have $10 from Kenny that says, what a fantastic speedrun to watch. Solar Ash is one of my favorite games, and this has been amazing. Great job.
Thank you. Keep it going, keep them going.
Keep them going? All right. Well, we also have $25 from Chubba that says, that bonus game meter isn't moving fast enough. Come on, Twitch chat. Let's go.
Keep it going. This part's spooky. Keep it going.
Yeah, all right. $10 from X3 Haven that says, Rhythm Gamers Unite. Let's meet the Sound Voltex and Stepmania modded showcase incentives. Indeed, let's do it.
Hell yeah. Thank you all so much for your donations. It's going to Doctors Without Borders is one of my favorite causes out there, so I'm really happy we can be out here raising money for it. So now that that's over, we are entering the end game sequence. This is the main difference between any percent and true ending. So now we are playing as Echo, and Echo is kind of interesting because her gravity is quite a bit lower than Ray, and it will allow us to do some kind of different platforming. So you'll notice this is pretty similar to the beginning of the game. So if we take a triple jump over here and kind of swing out wide on this tree, we can then do a triple jump up to the top of this tower, and then another triple jump up here, and these are all because of Echo's lower gravity. Now I love this jump right here. I'm going to wait a second. This is really cool. This skips talking to Sid for the last time. Another cutscene, and you just get this really cool overlooking vista for this. And the music swells. Such a sick way. We're going to time our double jump so we get maximum distance from that. And there's a pretty interesting death warp that we're going to do here, where the death warp to get to that our goal is that area over there, but we just have to land kind of somewhere in this area below, and it's going to warp us all.
湯上がり卵肌。
Nice.
Ah.
And here we go. This is the final boss fight in the game. Just wait for the LOD to pop in. There we go, because we broke your game again. I'm so sorry, Wolfgang. So there's really no way. This has been a pretty spoiler-free run.
Wreck the Ray.
So this is Ray.
Let's Ray.
What has become of her? And this is the final boss fight of the game. Mechanically, it's not too bad, but some of the gravity here can be a little bit tricky to navigate around. So generally speaking, I play this area pretty slow and methodical because unlike in the other boss phases, every single boss phase has this supercharged, superheated goop. So if I hit that at any point, I will die immediately. So here we go, get the grapple here. The second phase isn't quite too bad, and I'm going to actually try and time a dash as I come off of here to get a little boost. Didn't quite get it, that's fine. The thing is right there. The third phase is really where things are tough. Unfortunately, those kind of like hair tendrils or tentacles, whatever you want to call them. I don't think that's hair. Fortunately, they don't have a hitbox on them. Otherwise, this fight would be a lot harder. All right, final phase, and I want to navigate around to the front of Ray here. She seems to attack faster if I move kind of to the right here, and eventually she will attack. There we go.
で、この話の流れがトゥルーエンドにつながるってことですよね、これ。
Oh, not quite. Got a little cut off by the gravity there. And this is probably the trickiest part because you're kind of moving in a lot of diagonal angles through here. And it gets a little difficult to move through properly. Yeah, because I would have There we go. I'm going to try and fall, just kind of like fall the whole way here. Oh, okay, we're fine. All right. Sorry for yelling. And okay, I think basically once, hello, there we go. Oh, Ray, there we go. Okay, now once we get here, we are pretty much in the home stretch. Time is going to be coming up here on last input, so I would say in about 20 seconds or so, and we're making good time. Yeah, be ready on time here. Just got to grapple to, there we go. So just got to wait for last input.
Can't go back and change the past. We have to pick up
And I love this final scene here. And time.
Time. Good game です。
Thank you. Oh, I love that. Thank you all so much. Well, we got a big turnout for this too. I appreciate y'all so much for being here. Yeah, this was Solar Ash True Ending Restricted. Thank you guys so much for watching. I want to give a huge shout out to my pouch, Bagel, who just put out an exquisite, the reviews are in, an exquisite tutorial series if you want to get into this game. Utu, thank you so much for being a part of it. I really appreciate having you as a friend. And Wolfgang, thank you so much for coming all the way out here. Like, it was so cool having you here, hearing your reactions, getting like this fascinating insight. I appreciate you a lot.
No, I'm so happy to be here, and Heart Machine will always support this community.
That's so sick to hear. Thank you. Thank you so much. If y'all want to get into Solar Ash speedrunning, just like anywhere else, our community is centered around both our speedrun.com page and our Discord. That is speedrun.com/solar_ash. From there, you can access our whole community, access the tutorial series. This game needs more runners. If you can believe it, there's not a lot of people running this game, despite it being as good as it is. And if you'd like to follow me, you could find me at twitch.tv/bryonato. I'm actually at bryonato on all platforms. I'm making TikToks and everything like that, and I really appreciate everybody for being here. And this is such a nice way to go out too. This True Ending is the reason that I run this game. Yeah, again, thank y'all so much. And I don't know, who is this? Mr. Krabs? What are Mr. Krabs doing in this game? Flying the... なんだか急によくわからない感じになってますけど。Oh my god, thank you all so much and enjoy the rest of SGDQ2022.
All right, well, thank you, bryonato. Let's hear it one more time for bryonato, everyone.
いまいちわからないまま、ずるずるってきてしまいましたね。これまでのゲームは、ソーラーアッシュ、トゥルーエンディング、リストレクトデッドでした。まあ、次のゲームの準備ありますんで、一旦失礼させていただきます。
All right, we are fortunate to be sponsored here at Summer Games Done Quick 2022 by Fangamer. Fangamer sells some excellent video game merchandise, and they ship worldwide. And not only this, but the sales of GDQ merch benefits MSF directly. So if you would like to get some sick swag, go ahead and head on over to www.fangamer.com/collections/games-done-quick. That's right. Thank you so much, Fangamer. All right, that being said, this is so exciting, folks. We are just about $35,000 away from hitting that 1 million mark. I am so hyped, and thank you so much for all of those donations you have been sending in. Starting off, we have $20 from Froglick that says, gotta see that Blade Wolf DLC. Well, guess what? Thanks to all of your generous contributions, indeed, we have unlocked that Metal Gear Rising Revengeance Blade Wolf DLC run. Yes! But that being said, we still have some excellent things to unblock, especially the bonus game coming up, Sound Voltex Exceed Gear. If you have never seen this speedrun done before, oh my goodness, you are in for a treat. That's right, high octane, fast-paced movement, and it is just such a delight to see and very, very impressive. All right, that being said, though, we are going to go ahead and see what excellent prizes we have to offer you here at Summer Games Done Quick 2022.
Well, thank you, Muffin, and hello, everyone. Welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick 2022. My name is Sent. I'm joined here by the always wonderful Frozen Flygon. And before we get to the prizes, Frozen, there's something we need to discuss. Your bow-based reign of terror ends now. On guard.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we have been bested. Let us call a truce for the moment.
I think Greta wins.
Yeah. Greta definitely wins. And this is, of course, Greta from MSF. Greta, thank you so much for joining us, being a part of another prize segment. Awesome to have you here.
Of course.
So let's talk about some of the prizes that you can all win by donating before the end of that upcoming Metal Gear Rising Revengeance run. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, a $25 donation is going to